Chapter 26. Ryan. Friday afternoon, I phoned Ash to see if he wanted to hit Southside Plaza. I'll ring Vince too, eh? I said, then wished I hadn't. Sure enough, Ash hesitated. Think I'll give it a miss. I did some tossing up in my head and tried Vince. Could have something lined up, he told me. Shit, I'm a social failure. But I went anyway, because Mum wanted me to pick up some Christmas lights. I took the Subaru, and as I came into the car park building, I saw a little kid standing by a car with his mother while she loaded things in. I slowed down like I'd learned in defensive driving, and suddenly he started trotting out into the traffic way. I had plenty of time to stop. I probably would have even if I hadn't slowed. His mother grabbed him and gave me this embarrassed look. I drove on with my stomach churning. Inside the plaza, I was passing McDee's, and there were Mel and Brittany at a table. I wasn't sure what to do. Mel saw me and smiled. Then I was sure what to do. She gave me another smile as I sat down. Brittany's face had no expression. I hoped Mel might say what a cool idea Tara starting off the netball game had been. But she talked about the holidays, how her parents both worked, and how it was boring with nothing to do. She looked around a lot, like she always does. She's got nothing to do, I started thinking. Hey, I could... Then Mel stared past me and went, Hi! A voice I knew said, Hi, back, and Vince sat down beside us. Yeah, he had something lined up all right. I half expected him to look shamed, but no way. Absolutely no way. He was off, talking and grinning to Mel. He took no notice of Brittany and hardly any notice of me. Mel laughed and blushed and looked awesome. Brittany glared into her thick shake. I sat there like a spare sock, watching my ex-best mate perform. Yeah, I'd found out the truth about him all right. After maybe 5 minutes, Vince asked, Want to check out a few shops? Mel went, Cool, told us, see you guys soon, and they headed off, shoulders almost touching. I sat there like a spare used sock. What a sleaze, muttered Brittany. I opened my mouth to tell her he was my... Then I shut my mouth again. Silence for a bit, except for Brittany working on the last of her thick shake. Then, still staring down at it, she said, Your netball idea was cool. I goggled at her. After a second, she went on. She's always been my best friend. When I thought she was going to die, I was so scared what might happen to me. I nodded. The night it happened, I got home and started punching and kicking the door. I wanted to hurt myself too. How? I'd never told anyone else that. So you bloody should, Brittany grunted. She looked up at me, said, I meant what I said at that family conference, and stared into her thick shake again. I was watching TV when Mel phoned about Tara getting hit. I didn't take on what she was saying at first. I was pissed off with her for interrupting my program. I felt like crap about that afterwards. She glanced at her watch. I gotta go. I'm seeing this guy about a part-time job. Man, who would want a lethal weapon like Brittany working for them? Then as I drove home, I thought, hey, she'd be perfect for Ash. He needs a chick with a bit of go. Mel was so hot and friendly enough, but yeah, I really knew it now. She didn't have guts and she wasn't staunch. Not like Tara. The patient's parents were advised that steps, shower floors, and uneven paths might cause difficulty for the patient at home. She would need assistance outside the house and must not cross any roads by herself. Ryan. Ash came round on Saturday night. I didn't say anything about Mel or Vince. Mum and John were out again. Hell, they've got a better social life than me. They'd left some salad and stuff. I took one look at it, and Ash and I headed off to Zeman's. We stepped inside, and 2 customers turned from the counter, Tara's mother and father. Hello, said Mr. Gower. Someone else treating themselves? I didn't know what to say at first. I introduced Ash to them. Oh, Mrs. G said, Tara's new physio. She and Mr. G looked heaps better. I remembered meeting them those first times in the hospital. I remembered bawling when Tara's mother hugged me. Jeez, how shaming. So you're off for a week, Mr. G was saying. Have a good time? Thanks. I remembered my manners and said, Hope Tara enjoys being home. Her mother beamed. It's our best Christmas present ever. Tara. Britt came round on Saturday. Mel's out with that Vince, she told me. I wasn't really surprised. Mel's cool, but when it comes to guys, well... I told her how Ash was going to help me with my physio. Suppose it gives him something to do, Britt said. Geez, thanks, I went, and we both laughed. Sunday, Mum and Dad took me for a drive to Puketapu Park. We sat on a bench and watched people, while they kept asking, was I too hot, too cold, getting hungry, getting queasy? Geez, I thought, give it a rest, guys. But I didn't mind too much. I keep going over the things I can remember. There's heaps I've forgotten, but I remember flying through the air, that drifting and floating feeling, voices, spewing up, moving to Watson House, knowing who people were, especially some people. I remember stumbling on the crossing. I guess that was my eyesight too. Hey, someone should write a book about me. Ryan came on Monday with Ash. He and Brooke showed Ash how to do some of the exercises. Ash isn't as good as him, but I suppose he'll improve. He doesn't say much. Ryan seemed sort of nervous again, like when he came those first times. At the end, he hung around for a second. Then he said, "See you in a week, then. Let us know if you're still interested in trying Taekwondo." Yeah, I told him. Yeah, I would. To assist hand-eye coordination and short-term memory, the patient could start a journal in which she keeps details of her progress, treatment, etc. This should also help her to measure her own improvement. Ryan. Tuesday was the final TKD session for the year. The juniors did their demo, all of them in a line, going through their basic kicking, punching, blocking patterns. They looked good. Must have had a brilliant instructor, eh? A lot of their parents had come to watch. After they finished and bowed to Greg and broke up, the little kid Sonia's dad hugged her and tossed her in the air so she squeaked. Hell, don't drop her, I thought. I look at people now, especially kids, and I think how easily they can break. We're off to Peel's uncle's place tomorrow. Tara. I've been making a list of what I want to be able to do. Read a book and remember it. Write properly. I've done some Christmas cards and my handwriting looks like a pissed spider. Get my lenses, not get tired. Play netball. Be my real self again. I am going to be 100%. I've made my mind up. I still get down sometimes, or I get frustrated, which is probably better. I'm glad Ryan's away for a week. It'll give me time to make my mind up about things. Britt and Mel came. Britt's got a job for the holidays, helping Jimmy. It's just till I can go back. Brilliant. Mel went on and on about Vince, his CD collection, his dad's big car, the party he's taking her to this weekend. Britt rolled her eyes at me again. Like I said, I felt sorry for Ash. Then suddenly I thought, hey, he'd be perfect for Britt. I'll have to try and get them together somehow. Why hadn't anyone else had this awesome idea? Ash came on Wednesday. He was pretty shy, but Brooke showed him what to do for the exercises and stuff, and he picked it up fast. Physio is a great way to get groped by guys. While Brooke was down the far end of the room, I asked Ash about Ryan. I'd planned it out. Seems they've known each other forever. He's a top guy, Ash said. I liked that. How about Vince? I asked. I wasn't thinking, except I had to meet this Mr. Cool sometime. Then I saw the expression on Ash's face. If my balance had been good enough, I'd have kicked myself. Sorry, I gabbled. I didn't mean. I just wondered how long you've known him. You and Ryan, I mean. Oh, brilliant, Tara. Bloody brilliant. Ash didn't look at me. He was watching my balance as I leaned from one side to the other. After a second, he said, about 4 or 5 years, I suppose. He and Ryan and I hang out everywhere together. Used to, anyway. You know that feeling when you know something has already happened to you? Somebody speaks or you see something and it's all been there before? It was partly like that when I looked up at Ryan's face after I fell from the chair and realised who he was. Now Ash's words had made it happen again. This time, it was the front seat passenger in the car I was seeing.